Okay, let's go ahead and finish up Module 1, Lesson 1. We have a couple pages left. Since in the last video we did number 1 and 2 from this section, I want you to shut the video off and go ahead and do this one on your own and make sure you understand what we were doing in the last lesson. So come back to this when you're done and we can check our answers. Okay? Okay, so represent 45 with base blocks and draw its diagram below. So that would be 4 rods and 5 units. I'm sure everybody has that down by now. And this number lies between which two flat numbers? Now this really confuses students because they're like, hundreds? Well, it's not 100. Well, there's 0 flats and there's 1 flat. So isn't 45 between 0 and 100? So this would be 0 and 100. Oh, not 1,000, Kim. Wow. What was I thinking? I said 100 and I wrote 1,000. Okay, now that's going to drive me crazy. So let me get my liquid paper out here. I don't want to confuse anybody. So anytime the number's smaller than what you're rounding it to, then you go from 0 to that number. So if it said between what thousands number, you'd say it's between 0 and 1,000. And then you have to decide which one it's closest to. Well, 50's in the middle and 45 smaller than 50. Therefore, when we're rounding to the nearest 100, this would go to 0. And it's okay, some numbers round to 0, depending on their place value. Now, if you ask me to round this to the nearest 10, it's not going to go to 0. But the only flat numbers, or the 2 flat numbers that's in between, is 0 flats and 1 flat. So I should have put that here, 0 flats and 1 flat is what it's in between. And we said 0 it is. Now they want to know rod numbers, that means tens. So we look at only the 4 and we say, okay, so it's going to be between 40 and 50 because 45 is between 40 and 50. And the number lies between 2 rod numbers, 40 to 50, and that would be 4 rods and 5 rods. Looks like my pen's running out of gas. Good thing I have another purple one. Okay, now this one, which of the number of rods in part D is the number closest to? And that answer should be neither. It is right in the middle. So 45 is in the middle. But we learned in our rounding days that when it's in the middle, we always move it up. So it's not closer to either one. That's why I must first say it's in the middle, because when it says what number is it closest to, neither. It's 5 units away from both. But rounding, it would go to 50. Just because the rule is a 4 followed by a 5 goes up to 50. Okay, so that one was a little tricky on both of them, a little tricky. Rounding to the hundreds, rounding to the 50s. Okay, so let's go to the next page. Okay, so rounding using place value. To round a number means to find an approximation of a number based on a specific place value. For example, if we round the number 173 to the nearest 10, we would get 170. Or we would say 173 is approximately 170. In this case, we rounded down since 170 is less than 173. If we round the number 173 to the nearest 100, we would say it's in between 100 and 200. And in this case, because it's over 150, it's over the halfway point, then it would round to 200. So rounding up and rounding down is what we're going to practice. Basically, we're doing the same thing we did on the last page. We're deciding which two numbers it's in between, and then we're deciding which number it's closest to. So when we go down, it would be 60. When we go up, it would be 70. When it's nearest 10, so we're only looking at the 6. So 60 to 70, and remember, nearest 10 will always have 1 0. Which of the two numbers is the best approximation? Okay, let's talk, Kim. Approximation to the nearest 10. Well, 65 is in the center, and this is larger than 65, so we'd say 70. And we don't need to write down why. We know why, because it's closest. Or we could say it's above 65. Just for a little teeny explanation there. So anything below 65 goes to 70, or 60. Anything 65 and above goes to 70. Okay, next we're rounding to the nearest 100. So the nearest 100 would be 2. So I say 283 is in between 200 and 300. So 200 would be rounding down, 300 would be rounding up. 250 is in the center, and because this is larger than 250, it would be 300. And we can say above 250. That's why it goes to 300. And yes, we have a couple more on the last page, so we'll do one more together and then I'll let you guys try the next two. Nearest 10. So now we're looking at the tens place. So we see 83. 83 is between 80 and 90. So then this would be 280 and 290. And I've had students on tests before in this section, and they would just write 80 and 90. You can't lose the 2. You ignore it when you're deciding rounding down and rounding up. 83 is in between 80 and 90, but you must include the 2. So that cannot be left off. And in between would be 285. And 283 is smaller than 285, so it goes to 280. So smaller than 285 is the reason. So we find the number in the middle. If the number in the middle, if it's smaller than that, it goes down. If it's larger than that, it would go up. So it's smaller than 285, which is the middle number. So hopefully that's helping you with the whole rounding process. So you decide which two numbers it's in between, and then you pick the number it's closer to. And numbers in the tens always have 1 0. Numbers in the hundreds always have 2 zeros for the answer, and so on. Okay, so why don't you guys try the next two? Shut off your video, do the next two, and then we'll compare answers when you come back. Okay, here we are with that tricky one again. So 45 is really 045, right? So when we're looking at the nearest 100, we say, oh, 45 is in between 0 and 100, just like we did on the last page. So 045 is in between 0 and 100. 50 is in the middle. And because this number is smaller than 50, it would be rounded to 0, because smaller than 50. So I'm sure all of you got that right, since we did that one on the last page, right? Okay, now we're doing the nearest 10. So 45 is in between which two 10 numbers? 40 and 50. And because it's in the middle, the best approximation is 50, because we always round up when it's in the middle. Round up when it's in the middle. Okay, so our summary: round up when the digit to the right of the specific place value is, and we'd say 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 9. So anytime the number to the, because we're rounding here, anytime the number after the number we're rounding is 5 or larger, it goes up 1. So 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, then you would round up. When the number following it is 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, then we round down. And you can see that practice here. 5 or larger, we round it up. The number following 0 was 4 or smaller. That's why we rounded down. So you always underline the number that you're rounding to and look at the number after it. 4 or smaller stays the same. 5 or larger goes up to the next roundup. Okay? Everybody got that okay? Okay, we're nearing the end here. So ordering whole numbers. So the easiest way, I think, is putting them in the chart, but you can do whatever you want, you know, whatever method you like. But this is just one way. So remember, I'm not telling you you have to do it this way, but I'm just showing you a way that the Common Core Math has found that students understand. So here, 0s in the hundreds, 4 in the tens, 3 in the ones. 0 in the hundreds, 8 in the tens, 3 in the ones. So 1 in the hundreds, 1, 2, 7, 1, 3, 7, 0, 3, 2, 1, 3, 9, 2, 7, 2, 3, 7, 2, 4, 51, 0, 7, 9, and 0, 4, 9. So you don't even have to make a table in order to use this method. You can just do the process that we're going to do. So use the information from question 1. Okay, for the whole numbers below, fill in this place value chart with the numbers of hundreds. Okay, we did that. So then it says use the information from question 1 to order the whole numbers from largest to smallest. So when we're doing this, we only look at the numbers in front. So we have 0s, they're going to be last, of course. 4 is going to be first. And 3 is going to be second. 2 is going to be third. So we got the 3 biggest ones there. So we can start with that. So 451. And you always have to be careful when you're doing these on your test, because sometimes Alex will say largest to smallest. Sometimes it'll say smallest to largest. So make sure you pay attention. And then 372 is number 2. And 272 is number 3. Okay, so those are done. So now we have 3 that are in the hundreds. So they're going to be the next 3 on the list. And when the front numbers are the same, you move to the next number. A 2, a 3, and another 3. So the 3s are the largest, but we have to move again to the next number to see which one's the biggest. 7 and 9. So we know that 139 is larger than 137, so that's 4. This will be 5, and this will be 6. So 137 is 4. Whoops, I wrote 7 and I'm pointing to 9. So 139 is 4. 137 is the 5th largest. And 127 is the 6th. Okay, so all of those are done. Now we can concentrate on the zeros, and there's a lot of zeros. So we have this one, and this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. So we have to look at all the greens. So obviously they all have 0 in front. So now we go to the next number. 4, 8, 3, 7, 4. So we know 8's the largest. So 0, 8, 3, or just 83 would be next. So that's going to be number 7. And then we have a 7 here. So that's going to be the next largest. That will be number 8. So 1079, which is just 79. And then we have a 4, a 3, and a 4. So now we need to compare the two 4s. So we have a 3 on this one and a 9 on this one. So 9's larger. So 49 is the next largest. And then 43 is the next. So 49 will be number 9. And 43 will be number 10. So 49 and 43. So those are done, and now we should only have one left, right? So 32 is the smallest. So that's from largest to smallest, and then after you get done using that method, then you can just use your common sense. Yes, largest, next largest, next largest, yes, 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 yes. So all looking good. And then they just want us to repeat it on the next one, which is kind of redundant, but now they want us to do smallest to largest, so that would be 32, 43, 49, 79, 83, 127, 135, 139, 272, 372, and 451. There we go. And like I said, Alex kind of goes back and forth, as would teachers. So you just have to be sure and read the directions carefully, because what a bummer to do that big long list and then find out you did it backwards and get it wrong on the test. So just read the directions carefully. Okay. Awesome. So now we have order the following list of numbers using the strategy on the previous page. And we're not going to do both. Largest to smallest, smallest to largest. That's crazy. We'll do largest to smallest. Okay? Because that's just redundant. Okay, so let's put our numbers in. So 273, 254, 204, 97, so that'd be 097, and 754, and 003, and 351, and 251. So largest number in front would be 7, so there's number 1, and let's just put the numbers there. We won't rewrite it. That'll save time for us. And then it looks like 3 is the next largest. And remember, we're only looking at the front numbers right now, so don't look at any of the other ones. So now we got a whole boatload of 2s. So 27, 25, 20, let's just put this here, 27, 25, 20, and 25. So 2 7's obviously the largest, so that would be 3. And then we have 2 5's, so we look at the number at the end, and this is 5 4, this is 5 1, so 4 is larger, so that's going to be 4. And then 5 1, and then this is going to be 204 is going to be 6. 1 2 3 4 5 6, and then we just have 2 zeros, so zeros are the same, so then we go here, oops, that's another 0, this is a 9, so 97 is the next largest, and 3 is the smallest. There we go. And like I said, you do not need to do the second set. That's fine. Okay, enough is enough, right? Okay, let's move on. I think we're on our last page now. Let me just make sure I didn't skip anything. I don't believe so. Nope. So this is on number writing, very last page. So this is lesson 1, student page I, and it's just one-sided. So for this one, we're learning about writing the word names, and like I said, commas count, the spelling counts. So I'm going to show you how to use the place value chart to help you with numbers. Like, I don't think anybody needs help with this. We all know this is 5,763. So let's go about writing that. So 5,000. And do you remember earlier when I said wherever there's a comma in the number, there must be a comma in the words. So there's a comma, so comma. And that comma is actually optional, but since it's there, we have to put it here too. And then 700. And remember, no and 63, just 63, no comma. There's no other comma in the problem, so we just write 63. It is between 21 and 99, which means it needs a hyphen. So 60 hyphen 3. And there we have it, 5,763. So up here, if you wanted to put this in the place value chart, you could. 3, 2, 3. And then 402. So how you read larger numbers is you just do 3 numbers at a time. So this is read 323, and then you say 1,000. And then this is read 402. We don't say ones, we just write 402. So 3 numbers at a time. 323,402. And we have to put the comma in, and 23 is between 21 and 99. So 300, so just read the number just like you would if it was all alone. So 323. And And again, 23 is in between 21 and 99, so that gets a hyphen. So 323, then you name the place value, 1,000, then you put your comma in after you've named that place value. So 323,402, not and 2, just 402. Okay, so let's do one more and then I'll let you guys try the last two on your own. So 87020,052, 87020,052. So you cover up this and you just do the first part. 87 in between 21 and 99, so it's going to get a hyphen. 87 million. 80 hyphen 7, then name the place value, and then put a comma in because there's a comma in the problem. Then we read this number, 020 is read 20, then the place value, 1,000. So 20,000. And then there's another comma, so we need to insert a comma there. And then last but not least, 52. Again, a number in between 21 and 99, so it needs a hyphen. So 50 hyphen 2. So 87, then name the place value million, 20, then name the place value 1,000, and then last 50 hyphen 2. Okay, the next two are yours, so shut off your video, try those two, and then turn it back on and you can check them. So this number is in the billions. Instead of writing it in the place value chart, I'm just going to put it above. This one's the millions, this one's the thousands, and this one's the ones. So I'm just looking at the place value when I see it. So billions, and then the next 3 millions, the next 3 thousands, the next 3 ones. So first I start with 7, then I name the place value billion. And I put a comma in because there's a comma in the problem. Then I read the next 3 numbers. 503's read 503 million. And then another comma because there's a comma in the problem. 503 million, comma. Then 033 is read 33 with its place value 1,000. And 33 is between 21 and 99, so it does get a hyphen. And that was 1,000. And then another comma. Last but not least, 9. And we never put anything after the ones place. We just write the number that's in the last 3 place values. Okay. Hope you guys did good on that. This makes it so much easier when you do that, because then you don't have to guess. You just say 7, name the place value. Then you read the next 3 numbers, name the place value. Next 3, place value. So pretty easy stuff. Okay, so the last one, this is millions, thousands, and ones. So this will be 7 million with a comma. And then the next three numbers are read 250, and then I follow them by the place value, 1,000, 250, and then write the place value, 1,000, and then I put a comma because there's a comma in the problem, and then last, just one. So that makes writing numbers so much easier using that method. No hyphens in this one, no numbers between 21 and 99. So we're good. Okay, that's the end of Module 1, Lesson 1. Your first one's done. Okay, I'll see you on the next video.